Once upon a time, in a land of big mountains and tall trees, there lived a tiny dinosaur named Tiny. Tiny wasn't like the other dinosaurs. He was much smaller, but he had a huge heart. Tiny loved to play hide and seek with his friends. But one day, he hid so well that when he came out, all his friends were gone. "Oh no," Tiny said. "Where did everyone go?" Tiny looked around, but the forest was quiet. His friends weren't anywhere in sight. So, Tiny took a deep breath and decided to go on an adventure to find them. As Tiny wandered through the forest, he came across a friendly stegosaurus munching on some leaves. "Hi, Mr. Stegosaurus," Tiny called out. "Have you seen my friends? They're big and love to play hide and seek." Stegosaurus smiled. "I haven't seen them, but maybe you should try the field of flowers. Dinosaurs love to play there." Tiny thanked him and hurried off to the field of flowers. The field was bright and colourful, but still his friends were nowhere to be found. Just then, Tiny heard a flutter above him. It was a group of pterodactyls flying high in the sky. "Hey, pterodactyls!" Tiny shouted, waving his tiny arms. "Have you seen my friends?" One of the pterodactyls swooped down and said, "We haven't, but maybe they're near the lake. That's a great place to play." So, Tiny made his way to the sparkling lake. He splashed in the water and looked all around, but his friends weren't there either. Tiny started to feel a little sad. As he sat by the water, a kind triceratops wandered by. "Why the long face, little one?" she asked. "I can't find my friends," Tiny said with a sigh. "I've looked everywhere." The triceratops smiled warmly. "Don't worry, Tiny. You're never truly lost when you follow your heart. Sometimes your friends are closer than you think." Tiny perked up. "You're right. I'll keep looking." He thanked the triceratops and hurried along. As Tiny walked through a sunny meadow, he heard some giggling behind a tree. He peeked around, and there they were. His friends. They were hiding all along, waiting for him. "Tiny, you found us!" They cheered, running up to him. Tiny beamed. "I thought I'd never find you, but I kept following my heart." The friends hugged, and Tiny realized that no matter how big or small he was, he could always find his way. And from that day on, Tiny never worried about getting lost, because he knew with friends like his, he'd always find his way back home.